Maybe you did the same mistake as I did in the past, picking the wrong woman. And in the beginning, you thought it could work out. She was saying, would you like, and please. She cared about you, she was texting you first, and she was cute. Maybe the cutest that you could attract. And all she had to do was continuing to be like that, right? But then you saw her true face. It started with little bits of disrespect, and then she started to act condescending. And maybe she even went full psycho on you, blaming you for everything. The more you try to understand and to create peace, the more conflict was born later on. And she destroyed you. Now, in this video, I would like to show you how to avoid those kind of situations in the future. Especially how to detect and avoid the kind of woman that is going to make your life a nightmare. As well as show you, of course, the kind of woman that you need to look for. Because yes, there are amazing women out there, and I can testify for one, my girlfriend. And more than just defining that girl, I would like to show you how you can find her. We will do that step by step, and I will also give you quick tips so that you can start immediately after this video. So watch until the end. You know, I get it. Modern dating is really difficult, but please do not do the same mistake as the women who will say all men are pigs, for example, or all men are the same. Do not start and say all women are the same. And I would actually argue that the more you start to play the victim as a man, the least you look attractive. Sure, you can't save the whole dating market, but if you start to save your dating life by being active and by finding solutions and by trying to be a better man, then you start to become the man that they actually want and they're actually attracted to. And what happens is that you get more options, you get more dates, and you see girls that want to keep you and they actually are in love with you. And when that happens, your whole perception of the dating market is going to change. And by the way, I already tell you that if you don't know how to do that, you can just send me the word date by DM or by email, and we can look at this together. So let's now talk about the kind of women that you should avoid. And here I'm going to talk only about personality, and I'm gonna use red flag and green flags as words to designate negative traits and positive traits. So the first item that I would like to discuss with you is gonna be daddy issues. So basically her relationship to men in general. So if she got abused by her dad, she got left when she was a child, then she views men as being selfish, as being assholes, and every time she will see a man being a bit selfish or a bit of a dick, then she will immediately confirm her bias and think, yeah, he's like all men. On the opposite, if she got very spoiled by her dad, then she will see herself as being superior to men, as being the princess. And every time she's gonna meet a guy, she's gonna expect that from a guy from the get-go. So what should be her behavior then? She got men around her that were good men, especially men who have helped her being a responsible person who is polite and who is respectful. So that means punishing her when she acted bad and rewarding her when she acted good, while at the same time presenting a positive role model for masculinity. So how can you detect that kind of woman directly? On the first impression? Well, look for signs of politeness. If she's polite, especially to the people that she doesn't owe anything, like waitresses or waiters, well, any person like that, then that's a good sign. Now, the second item I would like to discuss here is her friends group. So, what is her friends group composed of? If her friends group is composed only of men, this is a red flag. Why? Because all the female friends that she could have didn't want to be friends with her. And what you can do actually is to ask her the question. You can ask her, how come you don't have female friends? What happened? You know, like try to be a bit naive about this. If she says something like, oh, but it's too much drama, girls are too much drama, I don't like them, this is really the red flag here. Come on, not all girls are drama. A lot of girls actually are not. The likelihood here is that all the girls that she could have befriended, they thought she had a shitty personality. And so they left. Hence, the only people who stay are guys who find her attractive, and so they tolerate her personality. Or they just don't see it because they just see the looks, you know? So if this happens, just ask her why, listen to her explanations, and just decide if it's a red flag or not. Now, obviously, on the same note here, you could also look, even if she has female friends, what kind of friends she has. That tells you a lot about the personality that she has too. If her friends are not really good people, but yet she views them as being great, well, that might tell you a little bit about her, right? The third item here is gonna be body count. But here I would like to make a nuanced argument because we've talked about this so many times online. I mean, people have talked about it. So I just want to make an argument here that is gonna be very precise and logic. We live in a modern era where, yes, it's hard for men, but it's also hard for women to find a guy that they're attracted to, but that is also gonna stay. So when most guys say, oh, girls should have a low body count and just wait for the guy that they're gonna marry, well, understand that they don't even know if that guy is gonna stay with them if they get married. Also, they don't know if that guy is gonna actually be the attractive guy that he was in the beginning. I mean, if he's gonna stay like that or not. They do not know that. So asking her to be virgins or to have very low body count is just not realistic today. Now, obviously, the nuance here is that if she has a very high body count, then that might be a problem. For several reasons. First, she might carry some STDs that she doesn't even know about. The second reason is that she might still be in love with a person that she had sex before. The more partners she had, the more likely it is that she's still in love with one of them, because the more likely it is that one of them was actually very attractive for her. And you don't really want to go out with a girl who isn't over her ex. The third reason is that, and that could be also for men, by the way, if she's used to having sex with so many different people, what tells you that she's going to be able to stay faithful to you? You don't really know that. And so that problem might express itself in the form of cheating down the road. And for the fourth point here, I want to be conditional. First, you're going to ask her why and how she did that many guys in the past. Like, how come this happened? And why do we want to ask that is because it's not really the numbers that count. It's more the reason behind those numbers. So for example, if she's 30 years old and she has always lived in a big city where there was a lot of people and maybe she worked in some space where there was a lot of new faces all the time, it makes sense that she has a higher body count than an average person. It's not that she wanted it to be that way, it's just that she meets a guy, he's cute, he talks well, she's attracted to him, she waits a few dates, she doesn't do it the first night, but then they obviously have sex together. But then 2-3 months later, he just dumps her because he actually was not interested more than that. So imagine this happens 3-4 times during the year, and 10 years later, that makes 40-50 people as a body count. Well, that's just normal. However, if it appears that she easily gave herself every first night to every first guy that came to her, then this is where it's a problem. For women, having sex has potential real dangers behind that. First of all, I said it, STDs, but also unwanted pregnancy. So if she discarded all those risks like it was nothing, that means she's either stupid or she lacks self-control. And in both those cases, it's not good for you. So ask her how come she had that much sex partners in the past, listen to what she says, and then you can make your own mind about this. Okay, so now that we have talked about what you should avoid, let's talk about what you should look for. First, you should have great sex together because obviously you being together, it's only with her that you can have that sex, so it better be good. Then on the same logic, make sure she admires you. And I talked about this in the previous video, I'm going to put a link right here. Because if she doesn't admire you, she's not going to stay with you until the end. Next, make sure that you vibe together. Make sure that you have fun because you're going to spend so much time together that if you are bored together, it's gonna be a nightmare. And now you can look for the items that I talked about in this video. So make sure that she's polite in general. Then make sure that she has self-control, that she has a low body count, or if she has a body count, that is for the right reasons. And if you want to know how to make sure that she has self-control, you can watch this video about cheating. Third, make sure that you both have the same main values. So you believe roughly in the same things, because if you don't, it will really drastically change the way that you view life. And so your path might split after a while. And lastly, if the relationship is going well, investigate about her goals. Investigate about how she sees the future. Because maybe she's career-oriented and you want to have a family. So this is a topic that matters. Perfect. Now you know what kind of girl to avoid and what kind of girl to date. So where are they? First of all, you want to have one place where all of them are gathered, because if you do, send me an email, I'm interested to know. They're gonna be mixed with a bunch of other girls. And for many of the qualifiers we talked about, you will actually have to talk to her to know about this. So I could just say, just meet a lot of women and you will find the one that you like. I wouldn't be wrong by saying that. But you can be smarter than this. Let me explain. Think about the kind of girl that we talked about. Think about the kind of girl that you like. Now, think about what she does, what kind of person she is, and so what kind of activities she likely does. Think about where she might do those activities. And then think about which of those activities make sense for you to go and check out. One example here is simple. Imagine you would like to meet a girl who loves drum and bass music like you do, because as I said, you need to have fun together. Let's imagine you're looking for this. Well, you can either go to festivals in real life, or you could look for drum and bass pages on Instagram. Now, here you're gonna have to make a choice. Which is better? Well, if you're an introvert, for example, and you don't want to go out all the time, and you prefer someone who likes to stay at home, there's a high chance that you're gonna find her better on social media pages than if you go to the festival. Same principle if you also love drum and bass music, for example, but you don't want a girl who drinks, or you don't want a girl who gets drunk in the middle of a crowd of people. So in that case, you will preferably look for her on social media pages than going there in real life on festivals or in parties. For example, you would like some girl who is polite, who is respectful, who is feminine, maybe traditional. Then you would maybe look for music who is more classical or lyric, whatever it is. And you're either gonna go to those events in real life or online. And here's same principle. If you want her to not be on her smartphone all the time, maybe it's better if you go to the real life event. To summarize, make sure that you know the kind of woman that you want. Make sure that you know where she might hang out, and make sure to pick the right places where you should look for her to make sure that she ticks all the boxes. And then once you're there, you still need to go talk to her and learn about her to understand if she's really the kind of woman that you want. You probably will have to talk to a bunch of girls before you find her. That's normal. So if that scares you, you don't really know how to start and how to do that, you can send me a message. You can send me the word date by message, and you can send that to my social media or my email. All the links are under this video. And that's it. See you next week.